everybody. Okay, so I'm so excited to chat about this topic. Just what we're sharing in this live stream today, the little strategy on how to just tweak the way you think about 20K months can actually get you there alone. Like, this may actually be the thing very well that's holding you back from getting there. So really, really excited to share it. And because I'm so excited to share it, I'm going to share it. I'm going to share this into my group really quick. And then we'll get started. As you hop on, if you're live, say hi. If you're on the replay, say hey too. Just curious who's here. Okay. Let's see. Can I share this? Okay, here we go. 1 minute. But seriously, this is going to be so good. This is actually a huge shift in thinking that I had to make to create my best month ever so far in business, and to actually make it something where I know it's repeatable and I know it can actually be consistent finally. So my new income level that I feel like I've been like fighting to get to, I know you guys know that feeling, has finally happened. And this was the thing. It wasn't new strategies. It wasn't any of that. Let's chat. Okay. Boom. Shared it. Okay. Hey, Jennifer. Thanks for being here. So let's see where we want to start. Okay. So over the Black Friday weekend, right? We're just jumping right into the story. Good morning. Everyone else who's on, say hi. I see some more of you guys jumping on. Cool. Oh, wait. Okay, cool. I messed up my computer where my notes are. Okay, so over the Black Friday weekend, Frankie and I, my boyfriend, we went to Florida to visit my family, and it was awesome. We were traveling, and it was really just it was a long weekend trip, but a very short trip to Florida. Nothing fancy or spectacular. We just stayed in a hotel like where my family's from and just saw them for a couple of days. It was also Black Friday weekend, and regardless of that, that's not actually really the reason that it was a 20K weekend. However, we will talk about where it came from. But while traveling, while it was the Black Friday weekend where everybody was promoting their shit, while I was like busy and I didn't have much time to get anything done, right? And yeah, that's basically it. It was a 20K cash weekend, over 20K cash weekend. And this isn't the first time that that's happened for me, where 20K has happened in just a couple of days or in a week. But I just thought that was really cool because, like I've talked about in some of the other live streams recently, I see people getting really worried. Even those of you who are at like 10K months, even those of you who are at 20K months, it kind of blows my mind, but it's okay. Worrying about people not investing because it's the holidays or the time of the year, or wondering why you're attracting so many money objections, wondering if you're ever going to get to that next level. So this was just proof to me that it's all bullshit and you can get there. And then what happened, partially because of this weekend, I had my best month ever, which was over 60K cash, right? But here's the thing. It was so easy. Way easier than any other high. Like, I've had a couple months in the 50s, way easier than those. And it actually finally feels, and it has clicked of like, I can repeat this. Like, of course I can repeat this. Of course it's going to happen again. That's easy. 20K is like a weekend thing now. It's definitely not a monthly thing. And it's just a different feeling, right? You guys know, like, lots of you are working towards 10K, 20K, 30K, and it feels like you're writing it in your journal over and over. Like, I literally have been trying to get to that level forever, obviously, since starting my business, but really focused on it this entire year. And it felt like it was never going to happen, right? It felt like maybe I wasn't good enough, blah, 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 blah. You guys know the other stuff that goes on in your head. So anyway, it happened. So celebrate. It was really exciting. But it's so interesting because it wasn't super intentional. I wasn't obsessing over it. I wasn't writing it in my journal a million times. It just kind of happened and it was easy, right? And it was very repeatable. So anyway, here's kind of what I want to talk about. I'm going to tell you the couple of strategies that really helped, and then I'm going to go into what really gets you to this point, and we're going to talk about the actual, there's like three main things. Strategies, what really gets you here long term, because let's be honest, you want it to be consistent, which is a long-term thing. And then the shift in your thinking that can actually get you to your next goal, like right now. Okay, cool? Super excited. Hey, Alicia, anybody else here? I saw Gianna on here. I saw Shannon. Yeah, say hi, guys, if you're here. Okay, so strategy-wise, just because I know you guys want to know, one, signed a new client, a high-end 25K client, right? That strategy to sign that client literally came from just trusting my gut, right? I know that might not be the answer you want to hear, but it's true. Have you ever just felt like you just know there's somebody and they're supposed to be working with you, and you're like, get your butt in this program, and you're just thinking to yourself, like, they're so supposed to work with me. What I've challenged myself to do, anytime I feel that way, I reach out to the person. I just ask them if they feel the same way. You know, and guess what? I've been turned down a lot, and it's been no a lot, even in the past month. But it also leads to yeses too. And it's not a sneaky like, hey, tell me more about your goals right now. Tell me more about your business. It's just literally I'll message someone and I'll be like, hey, I have this really strong feeling we're supposed to like make some magic together one-on-one in my program. Do you feel the same way? It's like asking them out. Like, I'm just very straightforward with it. Now, typically, and there's nothing wrong with this, typically it's not someone random, right? Like, it's somebody who's done like a smaller program with me, or who's like obsessed with my content or whatever. So it's somebody that I have a relationship with, and I really do know that they're meant to work with me. And even when it's a no, the thing is this isn't, everybody is intuitive, right? Everybody does have intuitive insight. So I know they're meant to work with me. So even when it's a no, or like I can't afford it, or I have this other coach or whatever, I'm like, yeah, you're supposed to work with me. And I don't get pushy, and I don't even go any farther than that a lot of the times. But I just know in my gut, that's not a bad thing when someone tells you no. When you know they're meant to work with you, you know they're meant to work with you. Maybe they're meant to work with you in January. Maybe they're meant to work with you 6 months down the road. Maybe they're meant to get over their shit right now and work with you right now. But that's on them. So anyway, that's a whole other topic. But just so you know, that's a big way I sign clients and even get people into programs, is still personal outreach. And I promise you, I'm not messaging people all day long, every day for every program. But when I know somebody's supposed to be in it, I'm just going to tell them, you know? Okay, so that was one thing. The other thing was the Black Friday deal, which I wasn't going to do anything for Black Friday, and I technically didn't, but I did do a Cyber Monday thing, right? So I made over 10K in 2.5 days from a $500 bundle, right? Which was awesome. And let's see what I wrote about this. So a couple strategies here. One, massive urgency. I was just talking to a client about this morning. When you have massive urgency, really helps to sell things from a strategy perspective. The other thing too, though, was even though I was like, Black Friday is stupid, I have never really I went to Walmart one time on Black Friday, which was not my idea. Not a Black Friday shopper, not into it. It's not really a bad thing, but I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of getting a little salty over here, like, Black Friday's stupid, look at all these people promoting their stuff, like, it doesn't work, it's just too much going on, like, nobody cares, desperate, blah, blah, blah. Why ever that was going on, that's a whole nother topic. That's kind of how it felt, to be honest. But then I was like, I've been wanting to do this thing for a long time where I just sell the modules of this big program I have. And I've been saying I was going to do it like all year long. Like, I've talked to one of my coaches about it 10 times, right? Never did it. And then I just, to be honest, I was a little bit inspired by other people having bundles, not going to lie. But then I was like, this is the perfect timing to do this. I've been wanting to do it. It hasn't felt very exciting. I literally cranked out a sales page for it in 15 minutes. And it was very simple, not very fancy. Unlike the sales page you might see today. And anyway, it made over 10K in a couple of days. And it's something I can sell later on as well, because it's something I've been wanting to put into my business all freaking year, right? So again, it was an inspired action. And I literally promise you, like, everything I do in my business that's really successful is always inspired and it's never forced. And it's the reason why I might talk to my coach about the same thing 10 freaking times, because I know I want to do it. I know it's an idea. It's a great idea. I should do it, but I don't do it until it's like, get the sales page done in 15 minutes kind of thing. Get what I mean? That's how it always has to feel. Like that's one way I know I can call my clients out on stuff. Like when they're doing something that's not going to work, I'm like, okay, girl, this has taken you 2 weeks, 6 weeks, right? What's going on? Because it does not seem like this is very aligned, because yes, a sales page is a lot of work, or yes, a funnel is a lot of work. But I mean, my rule is like 2 days working on something and it should be done. And, now I have more of a team. So the sales pages I'm making now are made by my wonderful team member who's doing them. But still, if I'm cranking something out, it should not take a lot of time. Anyway, that's just a tip. Here's what's really going on though. You have to start thinking of your business as a long-term game that gets you results immediately. So people, I see them doing content about like, stop focusing on short-term results, stop focusing on long-term results, stop trying to like increase your income too quickly, stop trying to like create all this stuff that's not going to make you money right now. Like I see both ends kind of being like bashed. And what I really believe is that you need to be looking at the long-term picture of you living your purpose, and then you're going to get really quick results all the time. Okay, so think about it that way. I think that's the most fun way to think about it, and I think it's the most true way to think about it. So here's what I mean. I had this epiphany recently when a client was asking me, why is this going on in my business? Why are things still kind of choppy, right? And what I had an instant realization on was, since 2015, since before I even hired a coach, before I even knew what coaching was, before I ever even wanted to be a coach, I started creating content, right? And I've created content nearly every single day, or I don't want to say created content. I've put out content, right? Because many of you know I repurpose the shit. That's one of my rules. I repurpose the shit out of my content, right? But I've been doing that since 2015. I've been doing that since months and months and months before my coaching business launched. And because of that, I've created this literal like life cycle essentially, right? Like I just imagine it as this wheel, right? This circle of life where there's people at all parts of it. There's people who are just finding me today. Right now, probably 20 or so new people will find me today, at least, okay? That's strategic. And then they're getting closer and closer and closer. So like they get obsessed, they get addicted to me, they follow me, they start to trust me, they start to find these connections that we have. And then every single day, I know, both like from a mindset perspective, this is great to implement in your mindset, but I also just know this is true strategically because it's how I've set my business up. Every single day, at least, there's somebody, at least one person who finally has that click of, I need to work with Taylor. I'm meant to work with Taylor. I need to be in Taylor's programs, right? So that's why consistency is so important. But here's the thing that people are teaching you wrong. It's not about just posting. And you guys already know that, right? Because you guys have already had posts that have totally flopped, and you've had posts that have signed clients and have done really, really well, right? It's about you being consistent, but it's about you showing up as a leader, right? Somebody where people, I have gotten up in my head about this topic a lot. What do you guys think, by the way? Tell me if you guys are loving this or if you're hating it. Leave me some comments though. I want to like chat. I don't like when there's not comments for a while. Anyway, I've gotten my head about this a lot where it's like, do I need to be more authoritative? Do I need to be less silly? Do I need to be more like perfect? Like I literally had this conversation in my head like last week, right? Or maybe earlier this week actually. Because I don't feel like I'm a very like authoritative person, right? But I do show up as a leader, and I do believe I'm freaking amazing at what I do, and I do believe that I am one of the absolute best coaches out there, right? No questioning there at all. Because I've realized that, I show up that way, right? And I don't, sure, sometimes things do affect me, I'm not gonna lie, right? But most of the time, things don't really affect me. I'm not really in my head anymore about, am I good enough? Why is she so much farther ahead than me? Why aren't people buying this offer? And here's the key that I've been sharing with a ton of women this week. It's about not making your sales equal your worth, right? So isn't it funny how like if you don't make any money this week, suddenly you feel like you're less worthy, you're not as great of a coach, maybe you're a fraud, maybe you're not meant for this. Like hopefully you guys don't go that far. But it happens, right? That's the issue. You signing clients, it does not matter if you don't sign any clients this month, if you make $0 this month, that has nothing to do with your worth as a human being. And it also has nothing to do with I'm trying to think of the right way to word this, but essentially your value as a coach, right? That doesn't mean you're not good at what you do, okay? I need to start saying that on my live streams. It's so good. Yeah, I think showing up as a leader is key. It is. It's definitely key. And you can tell. Can't you tell? You guys can so tell. You watch someone on live stream and you're like, they're getting better, right? Or when you're like, damn, she really believes in what she's talking about. You can just feel the difference when someone really believes it or when they're still all up in their head. Not to scare anybody who's still all up in their head. You've got to get over it. You've got to just keep practicing. But that's the thing. Okay, so here's the good part, guys. Here's what I really wanted you guys to stick around for. That's like my rant. That's why I think this was possible for me. That's why I think it is possible for me. But here's why I think, or why I know that creating this income consistently is finally freaking possible. And also why I know for a fact it wasn't happening this year, okay? Even though I've hired coaches, I did the mindset work, I did the journaling, I did the strategy, like I did everything right? And it still wasn't happening for a while. One, because we're on our journey and we have lessons to learn. And if it didn't happen that way, I would have never learned this lesson. That's mind-blowingly huge, but so simple at the same time. So whatever, it's great. I'm so thankful for it. But here's the deal. This is about being a leader, but it's also about how you view yourself. So it ties right in. The difference for me, and then we'll talk more about you. The difference for me was I was seeing 60K months and above as something that the leaders I follow do. So please don't come to my house. Okay, UPS is here. My dogs are going to bark. I was seeing women that made 60K months as like gods, right? Like I know that's a little extreme, but I was seeing them as higher up than me. I was looking at them on a pedestal. I was seeing them as just better than me, so talented, so smart, so rich, right? And then I was seeing me as me, 20K a month Taylor. My dog will shut up soon. But then this last month, I started realizing like 60K is nothing. 60K is easy. 60K is like, and actually here's the key, guys. Last month, I did not set my goal at 90K, okay? Well, actually, two things happened last month. I started planning out all the possible ways that money could come in this month, like how many spots for one-on-one I had and what I would make if that was filled, my goal for the course and what I would make if that was filled, my goal for my funnels that are running and what I would make if those were converting at the percent I want them to be converting at, and I would have made $95,000 cash if that was the case, with no pay-in-fulls or anything, right? And so I realized like, holy shit, this is possible. I can be at 100K months. I have the ways for income to flow in to be at 100K months. I know it was 95K, but come on, right? We could have made the extra 10K. If we're making 90K, we can make another 10. But you get what I mean? It was just this like, holy shit, I have the capacity. I have the ability. I have the ways for that money to flow in. And then there's always, I know this for a fact, there's always the unexpected income where you're like, I didn't expect that, but cool. So it just finally clicked that I was ready, that I was there. And then I did this journaling prompt with women in my course, and I asked them, not because your goals should be double, right? Because that's not the case, but what I like to journal on and what really made a huge difference for me this month, if my goal was double, if what I thought was possible was double, how would I feel? Do I think that's possible? What thoughts come up around that? So I actually did journaling around $180,000 months. And I journaled if I thought that was possible, what fears would come up, what could go wrong, why I'm not good enough. I journaled on all of that. And then I came to the realization that I do actually have a really solid plan where I could make that in 1 month. I still didn't think consistently, but I could do it once. And so regardless, do you see how my mind opened up from God, 60K month is such a dream. Like if I could be there, I'd be like, I would have made it. I would be there, right? Like it was such a different feeling of like, it was way up here and like such a milestone and such a big deal to, that's so cool. I could have a 90K month, like easy. Like that's already happening, and 180K month is possible. And like, I could do that this year or early next year. Like right now I could do it. So then here's the deal. So then a 60K month became a no-brainer. So what I'm challenging my clients to do right now is think about their goal double, triple, think about their end result, right? 100K months, or just, some people don't think that far yet. But even if you're still looking at 10K as a big deal, I want you to think of 50K. Is that possible for you? Are you good enough? What could go wrong? Why can't you have it? How could you have it? Here's another exercise strategy-wise. We are all meant to be creative. So get creative. If you're like, I couldn't make 50K, I don't have enough client spaces, I don't have a list big enough, get creative and figure out what it would take. And I'm not saying you have to implement it, you don't, but what I'm saying is when your mind accepts the fact that 50K is possible, you're gonna be making 10K in your sleep. Okay? Shannon, see myself as a 20K coach as easy and simple, not like, oh my God, the amazing coaches can do that. Exactly. Shannon, stop looking at the women who are charging 20, 25K as holier than thou, right? Like, sorry to go there, but that's literally what I was thinking at certain points in my business this year. And start thinking of them. You may hire them. They may be your coach. You may still admire them, but, just realize that they're just like you and it's no big deal. Who cares if they charge 20K? That's cool. That's cool that you both charge 20K, right? You're both so capable of it. And it's not to decredit anybody, because I feel like that sounded kind of weird and that made me feel kind of weird. But what's really cool is that we get to admire people who are above us and below us, because they're not actually, they're just, we're all just humans, right? People I know that make 100K months are 7-figure earners, right? Like, I've just realized not to decredit them or devalue them, but I've realized like we're the same. We're both humans. We're both amazing. We're both so worthy, right? And it just feels so different. It feels so good. So that's what you need to do. And think about like, especially if your goal is 20K, I think what you really need to do is start journaling. I'm a journaler, right? I love that I have my journal right here. I normally don't. I swear I did not put that there as a prop. Like I just sat here yesterday and used it. But it's kind of handy because it's like journaler, duh, proof. Like obviously I'm a journaler. But what I would do is I would start journaling as if I was a millionaire, right? Like what, and here's what else happens. Is you stop making decisions as the woman who can only make 10K. You stop making decisions as the woman who's struggling to even make 10K. And you start thinking about, like what you guys who want to make 20K need to be thinking is like, what decisions would I make if I was already a millionaire? What would this actually be priced at if I was a millionaire? What would I actually be launching this month if I was a millionaire? What kind of client boundaries would I have if I was a millionaire? What kind of clients would I take on? What kind of clients would I send away, right? Obviously your business is going to change. Okay. And to be a millionaire, what's really cool is you don't have to charge 100K for your coaching packages. There's nothing wrong with that. You can, but you don't have to. You don't have to charge 10, 20 for group programs, 10, 20K. You don't have to have these ridiculous, they're not really ridiculous, but these ridiculous prices. There's plenty of 7-figure earners who have programs that are a couple $100 and less only, right? Or who do have coaching packages at 20K, 30K, or 10K, or whatever. Point being is, you can get there however you want. So that being said, you can charge whatever you want right now. You can do the programs that you actually want to do right now. And what we're doing is we're limiting ourselves because we're not good enough. You don't have to work your way up. We're not in corporate America where you have to work your way up because the company's trying to be smart with their money and they can't just hire someone in at the top who has no clue what they're doing. Duh, right? But you are already a CEO. You're already at the top. Okay? It doesn't really get any higher up than that. So start realizing that and stop feeling like you have to work your way up. You're not starting out at minimum wage to work your way up to be the CEO. You're already there. You've already done that, right? So that's what I did wrong for a long time is I worked my way up. And it helped and it worked, right? Whatever. It's not something I would ever redo or take back or regret. But I didn't have to do it. And I realized that now looking back, I didn't have to charge as low as I did or even, it's not even always the pricing. I launched programs I didn't actually love because it would be a great way to get started, right? Even though the programs I do now that I love, I could have done then. So anyway, just let that sit. I could say a lot more about that. But yeah,